James, man, and you see the star here, you see the star there, and last night you seen them Cowboys turning up last night, and I told y'all they had a nice returner, and his name was Turpentine, and I know all y'all in the streets gonna start saying that. I know y'all are, because I created that. But guess what? I got a young man on here that he can do that returning stuff too, so we might talk a little bit about the correlation right here, Mr. Elijah Spratt. How you doing, big dog?
Doing good.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. We got to do an interview before, but some things happened, so we're rehashing it today. But the good thing about it is you've already had a game. Y'all had a big blowout victory, and you turned up in that game already. So without further ado, let everybody know your first, last name, give a little bit of background about yourself, and then let's talk a little bit about that game.
Class of 2024. Play receiver, DB, and punt returner.
All right, all right. So let's talk about your first game of the season. You guys had obviously a big blowout victory. I think you guys scored 30 over 30 points in that first game. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, and I seen multiple people had touchdowns, and I seen one of your highlights, and I tell people to go on the page because we are going to be posting that. We saw a little jet sweep where you got a little jet sweep right there, took it to the house, man. So kind of talk about the victory, talk about the team you played. Just basically kind of talk about the team, the game as a whole. Describe it how you saw it for the listeners out there who probably didn't get the chance to see the game.
All right, so we played a team costume. We around. So I know they had something like a chip on their shoulders trying to beat us or whatever. But team victory, we put together our pieces a lot better than we did last year at the beginning of the year. Comfortable coming into the year than we were last year. So I think we should be good.
All right, so let's talk about that. Now, you play some offense. Did you play a lot of offense, or did you play the majority offense, or was it both ways, half and half both game, offense and defense?
It was last year I didn't start offense, but this year I'm gonna be starting offense in the slot, and I already been starting defense at DB.
Okay, so how does that feel? Are you liking that since you didn't play offense last year? You mainly played defense. I know you played some slot, you played some outside corner, and I know you played that position very well. How do you feel about playing some offense? Is that something that you were kind of wanting in the back of your mind, wanting to do? And when the coaches put you in there, you're kind of excited about it. Tell me your feelings about playing offense more full time this year.
I started off more as an offensive player. But then I got to high school, I switched over to defense, like more of an offensive player in my mind. And I just focus on defense, and now that I'm in the offense, I know I can help my team out. So I'm proud to be able to do that.
So that's nice, good versatility. And you're a punt returner. As I said before, Dallas Cowboys got a punt returner they just signed. His name is Cavante Turpin. I don't know if you follow the Cowboys or anything like that, but they played the Chargers last night, and bro, he had two electric returns, one a 98 kickoff return and an 86-yard punt return. And he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's like, I think about 5'10", 155. I heard a lot of people saying, oh man, he's in the NFL, he's gonna get hurt. I feel like there's certain players out there that it doesn't matter that size. They're just not going to get hit. They just loose, can get through the line of scrimmage, know how to not get hit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Elijah. When I see you play, I see characteristics and traits like that. You're quick on your feet. It's like you can kind of see the hole before anybody else, and you honestly can see the contact coming before anybody else. Let's kind of talk about that. Has that been a natural instinct from you since you've been playing the game of football? Because it looks it's kind of a rare kind of ability.
I think it's more natural, and then I just put more work into it. So, come vision, being able to see the hole and get there fast before anybody else can get there.
Okay, all right. Now, you're currently a junior, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you still have 2 years to really make your mark. Now, I remember you said, hey, I play defense because my team needs to, but I'm kind of an offensive guy at heart. Do you think the more offensive reps you get, your mind will kind of like slowly want to go back to that offensive side? Or is it kind of say, I'll do whatever for the team, but I'm liking that little bit of offensive taste already? Because you know how it is, Elijah. Once you get that first touchdown, dog, you're going to want more.
But I think I stick with defense more than offense. But it's fun both ways, but I just like defense more.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Now let's talk about the rest of the year. You guys had actually a big blowout victory. So how does the team's confidence, going forward? You guys are going to be competing against some good teams this year, some good rivalry games. So you get the big victory. So how do you guys feel as a team going forward with the season?
Win gave us confidence knowing that we are more comfortable as a team and give us the more, just give us confidence really. Because next week we got a big players, so that win help us a lot.
Okay. Now is that next game, is that a home or away game?
It's a away game.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a few things about the defensive back position. What's your kind of? You said you like really playing the defense. What do you like playing the slot on the defense, or do you like playing that boundary corner, outside corner? What's kind of the spot you really like to get loose with, and why do you really love defense so much?
I like playing more than the inside because I like being able to go to zone and then being able to play man. I really like defense because you just got to earn your own touchdowns. You ain't got to worry about somebody throwing you the ball. You just got to go earn it.
Okay. So do you feel like, the Cowboys have a guy named Trey Diggs on their team? He was a receiver turned cornerback, and we see a lot of people say he has rare ability. And I think when they say that is because when you play receiver, you understand routes, you understand concepts, and then when you play the defensive back position, it makes it easier for you to be able to read the quarterback and be able to read the routes of the receivers. Can you kind of agree with that statement? And do you think what I'm saying is that kind of helps you when you're playing on the defensive side of the ball when you're playing against these receivers?
Both ways to help you out on defense because some of the moves, the routes, knowing the line help if they're either going in or out.
Okay. Now, I think we talked prior that do you run track?
To run track again next year.
Okay. All right. So do you happen to have your 40 time now?
My last 40 time was this summer at a camp. I ran a 4.6 in A.
Okay. So where do you want to really have your 40 time by the time you leave high school?
I want to get down to like a 4.5, 4.4.
All right. Now, going into colleges, I know it's obviously a few years away. Are you more of a hometown guy, or will you want to play whatever or wherever?
I really live close to home, but like if I have to, then I just go wherever.
All right. And what would be some of your top schools right now if you were to play in your own home state?
Ole Miss, Mississippi, Alabama is out of my state, but really those three, my top three.
Now, let me ask you something, Elijah. There's a lot of young men that I've talked to in the state of Mississippi, and Ole Miss seems to be one of the top schools they mention first. Why do you think that is? Why is Ole Miss such a big school? Not just because it's in the state, but I feel like it's named first. Reason why I say that, because I live in Ohio. Well, first time they mention it's Ohio State. It's nothing else. Everything is below Ohio State because that's kind of the standard. Is that kind of the situation with you guys in Mississippi with Ole Miss, or what is it really that people really want to go to Ole Miss?
For me, it's like the experience football team. We have had like competitions at Ole Miss. I really like the environment, and it's like a good place to be, a good program. But in Mississippi, the top two, like Mississippi State.
Okay. Now, I know you went to a few camps this year. Is that correct? All right. So we talked about this earlier, but let's just kind of rehash it. When you went to those camps, obviously you're in the season now, and you see what you kind of worked at the camps, and now you're in the games. Where do you think that you left with the impression that you left with the coaches that were at the camps? And what did you feel like you walked away saying, I left this impression with these coaches and these players to know about Elijah Spratt?
Whenever be like the first in line, showing that I wanted to be a leader, and showing them.
Okay, now I want to ask you, mentorship or just what's going on right now. Any shout outs to anybody out there? I think we talked about it off air, but I'd definitely love to give you the shout outs again. But who's out there that motivates you to be great besides yourself? Everybody has some kind of self motivation, but who else out there motivates Elijah Spratt to be great every single day?
I had to go with my number one motivation would be my dad, and then football team would be another one. Some of the coaches that helped me, they helped train me, stuff like that.
Now let's talk about your father right quick, because I'm gonna tell you right now, your father is a great man. We talked back and forth. He's really the one that really got me the interview with you. We talked back and forth before I even spoke with you, and all I got is salutes to him. He's just a great young man, and I mean not great young man. He's just a great father, and I just really appreciate what he did. But I'm looking at from the outside in. Just I want to hear you. I haven't really asked a lot of young men about this, but I feel like it's a strong relationship between you two. So kind of talk about that. Why is he your number one motivation? What does he really do to really say, man, he's just my ace number one?
My football career started off with my dad because he put me in play. He always been coached. He coached me from Pee Wee until I got. He stayed around, helped me, he trained me. He always hold me accountable and make sure that I'm doing the right thing. He's gonna be there by my side.
I like hearing that. He's done a great job. You can already see it right now. So, last kind of question. How do you feel about the season? Do you feel, we know the ultimate goal is the state championship, right? But is there any inside goals that you have within the team? Maybe some stuff that you want to clean up. Even though you had the big blowout victory, there's always some things that you can look back when you look at the film and the tape to say, we kind of need to get better at that. We need to do better at this. Did you see anything in that game that even though you had the big victory, that going forward, we need to continue to get better at and work on?
I think we did pretty good. I don't know too many flaws that I can think about, but I know some goals for the teams that we lost to last year, and we lost them like towards the beginning of the year last year. Feel like we a lot more prepared than we were.
Okay. All right. And that's awesome. Well, first of all, I really appreciate you jumping on here, this short visit. Like I said, did a great job in that game. Love watching you score that touchdown. Please, anybody, when we post this video, go check it out on my Twitter and my YouTube. It's going to be posted on both of them. He's a very electric player. You're going to see a lot of great things from Elijah. So I'm really excited that you were able to jump back on me with this interview. Any few shout outs that you want to give to anybody before you head off here?
Again, shout out to Coach Fields, Coach Griffin, Coach Reed for holding me and keeping me accountable. Yeah, that's really it.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to see a lot more of Elijah. Make sure you check the rest of the year. We got some big games coming up, a couple big games that we're going to highlight from some guys I've already interviewed. We're going to have a real good time with that. And it's going to be exciting to see what you're going to do the rest of the year. I know you're going to turn up. Like I said, you're going to be turning up like usual. So for myself, Big Game James, Mr. Elijah Spratt, we'll be talking to you. Generation Next, the up and comers. We're out. Peace.